the bitter Cold War between Prince Harry and his brother Prince William is about to heat up and heat up in style, as it's revealed that they're going to be forced into an unwanted reunion at the wedding of their cousin, Peter Phillips, the son of Princess Anne. So Peter Phillips is going to get married in the next few months. Congratulations to him. He's a divorcee, and he's now engaged to Harriet Spurling, who is a nurse. So it's a lovely piece of good news for the royal family, but bad news for Harry and William, who will be forced to confront each other. And I think it's come at exactly the right time. So Peter informed William and King Charles and Queen Camilla before the public announcement. You see, that's how the royals are supposed to do it. That is discretion. That is respect. That is protocol. That Peter Phillips, who's the son of Princess Anne, who's one of my favourite royals, he does the right thing. He knows how to approach the royal family, and he understands his position in the royal hierarchy. Notably, he doesn't speak to Harry. No checking with Harry, because who cares what Harry thinks? He's living in Montecito. He's a traitor to the family, but things are going to come to a head on the dance floor, or perhaps even in the church, when Harry and William are forced to be under the same roof. Now, we don't have a wedding date yet, but of course it's happening. They're engaged. They will get married. And William and Harry are both going to receive invitations. Well, of course they are, because Harry, William, and Peter were very, very close. Peter and his sister, Zara Phillips, is also lovely. I think they're a great family, to be quite honest with you. I think Captain Mark Phillips is the father. And, just breeding and class that these people have. Decent looking as well. Don't you think Anne's kids are pretty attractive? Peter and Zara, I think, are good looking kids. Not all the royals can boast that they are natural beauties. I won't name names. Let me know in the comments who's the most gorgeous royal and who's the least blessed in the looks department. Let me know in the comments. But anyway, Peter and Zara, I think you'll agree, are strong 8 out of 10 candidates. And Peter and Zara were very close to William and Harry. Peter actually said in a previous interview about his cousins, there was quite a gang of us and we caused quite a bit of mayhem and chaos. Well, I will say that Peter Phillips has caused very little chaos. This is a guy that's gone about his life as a private individual. Did you know that Princess Anne decided that Peter and Zara would not be prince and princess? That was all the way back in the 80s, I guess. And well done her. You see, that's what raising children in a normal way looks like. Harry and Meghan pretend that they want to raise Archie and Lily in a normal way, except they plaster them on social media. They fight for their HRH titles in the passport and have dreams that both of those kids will be serving royals in the future. Why? Because Harry and Meghan say they've left the royal family, but they won't let go. They're going to cling to that royalty with their fingertips. And it's not about love. It's not about blood is thicker than water. It's about position, status, ego, money, you name it. And be in no doubt, Harry will want to attend this wedding. It is the wedding of the son of Princess Anne, a global figure. Harry will want to be there. His ego will demand it. And he's missed out previously because in June of last year, he was excluded from the wedding of Hugh Grosvenor, the Duke of Westminster, one of the biggest landowners in the world and a mutual friend. And William was invited, served as an usher, and is now going to be godfather to the daughter of Hugh Grosvenor, right? That is how cheek by jowl Hugh Grosvenor, this posh aristocrat, and Harry have become. And Harry wasn't part of it because, of course, he chose to be separate from all of these aristocratic events. And he doesn't like it. Jenny Bond, of course, brilliant royal journalist and a good friend of mine who pops up a lot on the show, at least anecdotally, said Hugh was good friends with both William and Harry, but since the brothers' dramatic rift, the Duke of Westminster has navigated a tricky path, and it seems that he sided with William. So the Duke of Westminster, a man worth billions, has chosen William, Team Wales, over Team Sussex. Harry will not want that to happen with Peter Phillips, Princess Anne's son. Harry will be all over that invitation like a rash. What a bombshell if he brings Meghan. My husband, I'm coming because I've got lots of air miles and we're going to go coach because we're so broke now because Harry sold his story and the money's run out because we have too many staff
And he hasn't got much talent, really. So there's very little going on financially on his side.
So it would be quite something, but it's 100% certain that Harry will want to be there to show his face and not to be outdone as he was at the wedding of the Duke of Westminster. So it's quite something. It is a power struggle between the two brothers. Jenny Bond picked up on it, royal correspondent, former BBC royal correspondent. She said that William became the godfather to the couple's newborn daughter. She said these awkward decisions are made slightly easier by the fact that Harry lives so far away with no prospect of ever moving back to the UK. And that's not the ideal way to carry out any godparent duties. Now, she's right about that. She said, I think that Harry will understand not being godfather of this child, but it must still be rather sad for him to see his once close friends carrying on their lives without him, while William continues to enjoy the warmth and fun of their friendship. And finally, and by the way, Jenny is so right about this. I'm going to give Jenny a mic drop, actually, because she's on form today. We don't always agree, but she's nailed it on this one. She said it's the price he has to pay, that's Harry, for making such damaging allegations and causing such a bitter rift with his family. Well, she's absolutely right, and well done her for pointing it out. So it's going to be massive. The two boys will be under the same roof for the first time in a year. Okay, it was August 2024 when they attended a family memorial service for their uncle by marriage, Lord Robert Fellows, right? This was August of last year, so exactly a year ago. They maintained a distance. They sat apart. There was no engagement. They were like strangers. And isn't that tragic for two brothers to be perfect strangers? But that's what's happened. That is the depths to which Harry has sunk. That he can sit there, a couple of seats away from his brother, quietly fuming, no eye contact, no hug, no body language, no I love you. More importantly, no I'm sorry. Sorry seems to be the hardest word. That man will never say sorry because egotists and narcissists don't apologize because an apology requires self-reflection and it requires humility, both of which Harry has lost. Did he ever have them? I'm not sure he did. I've been on a journey on this show because when I started the Mark Dolan show at the beginning of this year, and now we have 100,000 subscribers and growing, I kind of figured that Harry back in the day was a sweet guy who's been poisoned by a certain my husband. I call him H. My husband. But I'm beginning to wonder whether Harry is really another Prince Andrew. In other words, a thick, pompous, selfish, arrogant, deeply unpleasant man. We know that Andrew is an obnoxious person, somebody very close to the royal family who has served the royal family at close quarters, has told me in confidence that he was an arrogant so-and-so, Prince Andrew. And that, for example, there was a security detail on a train who sat opposite him. There was like a kind of four-person table. And the security operative, I mean, it's his job to protect Prince Andrew, although I can't imagine anyone does that with any great enthusiasm. Would you take a bullet for Prince Andrew? Good luck with that. I'd actually tell the terrorists, he's over there, aisle 7, row 8, seat H. I'm joking. I am joking. But look, seriously though, if my job was to take a bullet for Prince Andrew, I think someone has to, but it wouldn't be me. I would simply become an ice cream salesman or maybe blag a job at Hooters, which is an American restaurant that attracts, it employs bright, talented, enthusiastic, keen-eyed young women with big futures. And maybe I could be a male server at Hooters. I am in middle age, but I do look after myself. I'm on a low carbohydrate diet. I work out a couple of times a week. I think I could squeeze into one of those skirts. I think I could pull it off. Should I do a placement at Hooters? Let me know. Are there male servers at Hooters? I think only if they're hot, I think would be the thing. You're allowed to work at Hooters if you're hot. I think we can agree I'm hot. This is Hooters Ready. Let's go. This is a Hooters Ready face with a Hooters Ready body. Let's go. I am Hooters ready. Right. I'd rather work in a restaurant serving the public than take a bullet for Prince Andrew. Anyway, so the story goes from a close confidant of mine that this security detail sits opposite Prince Andrew. And he says, "What are you doing?" "Bugger off." And basically, he was so full of himself, this is the story, that he couldn't bear to have a normal member of the public who's not a multimillionaire and not a royal sat too close to him on a train journey. And it was obnoxious and it was rude and it was horrible. I'm beginning to think that Harry is like that too. I'm beginning to think that actually Harry has always been a little so-and-so, but I don't know. We shall see. The jury's out. But this kind of Harry as a good bloke previously, now a horrible bloke, I'm not so sure. More explosive revelations about an unwanted reunion between William and Harry and what I think William should tell him straight after this brief word from some very good friends of mine, the sponsors of the show. Are you sick of biased news? Well, so am I. And that's why every morning, with my big cup of decaf in my Father's Day mug that I actually bought for myself, I read Ground News. It shows how stories are covered differently by the left, the right, and the centre. Take this one, for example, President Donald Trump's tariff crusade. Some outlets say that he's mad and is wrecking the economy. Others say that he's standing up for American jobs and will triumph. Well, Ground News shows both sides and lets you decide, because it turns out you've got a brain! Who knew? So try Ground News. Go to ground.news/Dolan or click the link below. You will get a 40% off discount from the Vantage plan. 40% off for the plan that I use for unlimited access. It is a game-changing way to consume the news. And more importantly, it will make you sound very clever at dinner parties. Ground News is subscriber funded, no billionaire overlords pulling the strings, just the unvarnished truth from every angle. What's not to like? That is ground.news/Dolan. I'll drink to that. So Harry and William have not been together since the family memorial service for Lord Robert Fellows, their uncle by marriage. They were also in the same building and at the same event for the coronation of King Charles III, which is a wonderful occasion for the Charles. Obviously, he's waited his whole life to be king. The Queen enjoyed extraordinary longevity, which meant that he was well into his 70s before it happened. Back in the day, a lot of comedians did jokes about, when the Queen would get like a head cold, Prince of Wales, then Prince Charles would be like, yes, she's got a cold. How bad is it? Is it flu? Does she look like she's got an infection? And this was just a joke, of course. And I'm so glad that the Queen had such a long life. She's the greatest figure, one of the greatest figures in British history. But there were a lot of jokes about the fact that she lived a long time, and it must have been a tiny bit frustrating for Prince Charles. So he finally becomes king, and that should be a great occasion. But what does he have to do? The whole thing is marred by the bitter Cold War between his sons. And there should have been the mother of all parties after that coronation, because my family are Irish, and what would have happened for an occasion like that, the coronation, if it was the equivalent for my family, let's say my dad gets a promotion or something, because that's what the coronation is. It's a promotion, isn't it, to CEO. You're like the Veep, you're the deputy, then you become CEO. So in my family, if my father had some extraordinary promotion or something, then we would have attended the event, and then we would have gone to the pub and had a few pints and have some sandwiches and a knees up, which is a London expression for dancing. A knees up means you literally dance. Your knees are like flying in the air. We'd have some singing. We'd have some stories. We'd have some jokes. We would have an extraordinary party, what the Irish call a hoolie. And that's what the coronation of King Charles III should have been. But instead, the churlish Prince Harry comes to the coronation with a face like a slapped bottom, with a face like a bulldog chewing a wasp, with the complete hump, right? Looking as miserable as anything because he's the world's least happy millionaire. Poor Prince Harry. I've got such a terrible life. Here I am at the coronation of my father, the King of the United Kingdom. I was born into untold wealth. It's someone's job to iron my newspaper and
brush my hair and put toothpaste on my toothbrush, and to pleasure me in every single way possible, both physically, bodily, and spiritually, my terrible life with my father becoming a king. Humpy dumpy 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 dump.
I mean, how could you attend an event where your father becomes king of the United Kingdom and be in a bad mood? How is that possible? But he did it because he's so pathologically unhappy and angry now. And he didn't stick around for beer and sandwiches and a hoolie and a knees up and a bit of a dance and some jokes and a story or two. No, 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 no. He was on a plane out of West London faster than you could say King Charles. He might as well have not bothered. Why go all that way, flying in from Montecito to the United Kingdom, sticking around, creating a terrible mood, a terrible atmosphere at the coronation, and sending a clear message by leaving straight away? But that's Harry, spoiled brat, who I'm beginning to think was always a piece of work. I'm beginning to form that view. Convince me otherwise. He also attended the Queen's funeral, September 2022. I'm not sure he should have gone, because look at the misery that he wreaked upon her in her final months. That she was a very ill woman. She was mourning the passing of her own beloved husband, Philip, and she had to worry about this forthcoming book, Spare, and what would be in it, and what impact it might have on the family and on the monarchy to which she devoted her life. So the fact that he turned up at the Queen's state funeral demonstrates a degree of hubris, in my opinion, a brass neck, an arrogance, and a tone deafness that is unique to the Markles of Montecito. Now, of course, he had to attend his grandmother's funeral. There would have been hell to pay if he hadn't. But I found it a sickening sight to watch him go and feel so sorry for the passing of the Queen, given what he did to her. And I got more revelations about how angry she was about his wedding to Meghan in just a moment. So previous to that, the brothers were also together for the Queen's Jubilee, and they walked in the procession, but no interaction whatsoever. You might have thought that he could fake a smile in order that his grandmother could celebrate the Jubilee and the achievement that was, if only. And very interestingly, they were together in July 2021. And that was for the unveiling of the Diana statue, and how angry Diana would now be with Harry. Diana would be so angry with Harry for his behavior, because although she was a tricky customer, a very damaged person herself, all she ever did was serve the royal family. When she lost her HRH, she went away quietly. She tried to rebuild her life. She was tricked into the Panorama BBC interview by a dishonest journalist. But to me, Diana brought a lot more positive than negative to the royal family. So she would be so angry with the damage that Harry did. She was very fond of Elizabeth and of Philip. She wouldn't be happy with his behavior. And the two boys were at the Diana statue unveiling, and it should have been a moment. I mean, there should have been a hug. There should have been a high five. There should have been a go for a beer afterwards. King of Beers, Budweiser. We know it's the King of Beers because it says King of Beers on every single bottle and on every can. Instead, they spoke at different times. They barely crossed each other's path. The body language was absolutely horrific. And of course, there's a good reason for that, because it was July 2021, which was just a matter of months since the Oprah interview, because the unveiling was in July of 2021. The Oprah interview was March 2021, when Harry accused the royal family of being racist. And so William, days after that wicked interview, on his way into church, of all places, said, he was asked by a journalist, are the royal family racist? He said, we're very much not a racist family. He's then got to hang out with the person that made that wicked and dishonest claim in memory of his mother. It's quite shocking how badly and how fast Harry has fallen in all our estimations. And Harry's been to the UK multiple times on his own for Well Child, the Invictus Games, has not seen William during those trips, but they will be united. It's not a meeting that they want, but I think it's a great opportunity because the bottom line is that blood is thicker than water. Harry is at the wedding. William is at the wedding. And it's time for Harry to be a man, to walk over to his brother and say, William, I'm sorry. William, my behavior and actions are unforgivable. I made a terrible mistake marrying Meghan Markle. You warned me not to. Even my crazy uncle, Randy Andy, told me I was crazy not checking her out. I made a mistake marrying her. She's poisoned me and turned me against the whole family. The BBC interview was a mistake. I should never have done it. The whole book Spare was a mistake, and I particularly apologise for attacking your stunning wife, Catherine, and characterising her as a sort of horrible sister-in-law, which she's not. And I also especially apologise for revealing exaggerated details about fisticuffs, about a punch-up, about a physical fight between the two of us, in which I allegedly lost that fight and fell with my head into a dog bowl. And Harry should just say, what I want you to do now is I want you to put me in the doghouse. You're my older brother. You're going to be king. And I'm going to dedicate the rest of my life to serving you as your younger brother, as your friend, and as brother to the king of the United Kingdom eventually. He said, I'll do anything. This is what he's got to do. He should say, I'll do anything to build bridges with Catherine. Can I also apologise for not putting the word love in our joint statement when Catherine's cancer diagnosis was made public? The journalist Mark Dolan was the only journalist in the world to notice it didn't contain the word love. He was right about that, and I'd like to apologise to him as well. It's not bad, is it? Harry's apologising to the Mark Dolan show now, folks. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving Harry 2.0. What do you think of new look Harry? I haven't finished the speech. He's got to promise not to do any more books or any more podcasts or any TV or radio interviews. He's got to tear up any contract with Netflix, not that it's worth anything anymore. And he's got to offer to his brother to divorce Meghan Markle as the olive branch to end all olive branches. If you're William and your brother has told you he's willing to leave his wife to fix this relationship, at that point, William is in a corner. There's nowhere to go. At that point, I mean, that is the tipping point of forgiveness. If the guy is willing to leave his wife in order to have peace with you, that would be on the part of Harry a mic drop. William, would he accept his invitation? I mean, under those circumstances, let me know in the comments, do you think that William would and should accept an apology from Harry under the circumstances of and in the event that Harry offered to divorce Meghan Markle? I'll be honest with you, I think it would be a great bargaining tool, great leverage from Harry, because they're going to divorce anyway. The Mark Dolan show is the first show in the world to place Harry and Meghan on 24/7 divorce watch. I say that with no pleasure, but it's a pathological relationship. It's negative. It's unequal. And I guarantee you they will not last, right? So what he should do is front load it. There's still some value in him owning the divorce. Harry could just say, that's it.
He'd go, sorry, Meghan, I want out. I'm having a miserable time. You've made me hate my country and my family and the monarchy. And now I'm in California, bored to tears, having dinner with bloody Oprah Winfrey, who's gone right off the boil. She used to be a legend, and now she's just a horrible political and cultural stooge that jumps on the latest bandwagon. What a fall from grace boring old Oprah Winfrey's had. What a self-satisfied member of the liberal media elite. Can't stand her. What a hypocrite. The billionaire who's worried about inequality in the world. Humpy-dumpy-dumpy-dump.
Okay. Harry should do that. And it would give William pause for thought. Harry won't do that. What Harry should do, I think he should go to Peter Phillips's wedding And I think that William should go. And I think that they are men. And I think they should talk. That's another question for you in the comments, which is, at this wedding, assuming that they both go, should they have a chat? If you're William, now I'm willing to guess that you don't think William should forgive Harry, but should they talk? Let me know. Should the brothers talk? Should they be locked away in a room? They're going to the wedding, so there'll be, the reception, there'll be dancing and drinks and all that. Could they sneak away? There'll be a lovely hotel where it'd be a very posh hotel, and find a little corner of the lounge where there's no one around, and get a couple of brandies, maybe sip a brandy, and just talk. Should the brothers talk? Should William chat with his brother? Let me know in the comments. I'm fascinated what you think about that. I think they should talk, but I don't think that William should forgive. And I think that if William says anything, William should just say, you have brought disgrace on the family. Your behavior has been egregious, wicked, dishonest, evil, unkind, cruel, hypocritical, and unforgivable. William should just vent and say, I'm so angry with you. I detest you now. And you're nothing to me. And as they say in the Shark Tank or Dragon's Den, I'm out. I mean, he could use this wedding reunion to fire Prince Harry. That's what he could do. William could use Peter Phillips' wedding, the son of Princess Anne, to fire Prince Harry. That would be powerful. Harry comes along.
Oh, hello, William. Really sorry about that book and stuff, but, I'm a bit broke at the moment. Needed some money somehow.
And William could just coolly say, you're fired. You are fired. That's it. I'm out. I'm done. Go. And when I'm king, you will be banished from the United Kingdom. He could actually have an act of parliament and strip Prince Harry of his citizenship. There's a woman that travelled abroad. There's a British woman called Shamima Begum who travelled abroad with a terrorist who wanted to have a terrorist attack in the UK. And she now has lost her British citizenship. She's rattling around the place, I think in Syria, stateless. Good enough for her. Okay, because she, with her ex-partner, plotted a terror attack in the United Kingdom. And she's now stateless. I wonder whether William could render Harry stateless. Take his passport and just let him, beg the president of the United States to be able to stay permanently. Well, he's got his visa, hasn't he? But it would be interesting. He'd have no passport then. I don't know, but I just love the idea of either a full reconciliation with an agreement, a signed legal agreement that Harry will never write another book, never do another podcast, and he will divorce Meghan Markle. At which point, can you imagine the boys together playing polo again? Harry helping William to prepare to be king, which, let's be honest, is going to happen sooner than we want it to, because it's very clear that King Charles is battling cancer. He's an older man. I hate to tell you, I don't think that Charles has the health and longevity that Queen Elizabeth had. And wouldn't it be amazing if Harry could be there in the palace ironing William's clothes? Because that would be, it's important now that he knows his place. He's the spare.
Oh, I'm the spare, apparently. So I'm going to iron the clothes.
I don't know about you. I quite enjoy ironing. I find ironing very relaxing. I have, can I quickly tell you, a steam generator iron. Do you know what that is? It's very good, because normal irons, it's just a piece of metal on the iron which gets very hot, and it's got a steam mechanism. Well, I have a steam generator iron. The thing doesn't get hot at all. It just pours hot steam through the iron part. It means that the iron, have we got time for this? It means that the iron sits on the clothes, like on your shirt, and it won't burn the shirt. You could go and make a cup of tea and come back and you'd be fine. because the plate doesn't get hot. It just pumps steam. It's a steam generator iron. I love it. It's why I'm always so crisp for the Mark Dolan show. Crisp and smart. You know why? Because I'm Hooters ready. The face is Hooters ready. The hair is Hooters ready. This is Hooters ready hair. Hooters ready hair. And the body is Hooters ready. But is Harry Hooters ready? Harry's going to be working at the Montecito branch of Hooters if he's not careful, because he is so broke. But Harry could be there to support his brother, preparing to be king. And Harry could take the view, do you know what? I'm so glad I've divorced Meghan, because now I'm back in England with my friends, hunting, drinking beer, chasing women, dressing up as dictators from the 20th century. Good old Harry. Let's bring the old Harry back. And supporting. And you know what? Harry should be back in England doing a lot of the public duties that William shouldn't have to do, because William is still looking after Catherine, who is not 100% after her cancer recovery. We know that. She's scaled back her commitments, and rightly so. So Harry should be back in England, single, doing the heavy lifting, opening hospital wings and primary schools and all that other boring stuff, and receiving bunches of flowers from the public and all that. He should be doing all of that, posing for selfies, while William concentrates on supporting his wife in her post-cancer battle and preparing to be king of the United Kingdom, which will be sadly sooner than later, because, like I say, Charles does not have Elizabeth's longevity genes. He's not a well man. And please God, I literally pray that it could be, many years, 10 years, 15 years, but I fear not. But that's in God's hands. But and it would be amazing if Harry could be there to support him and to be his deputy, to be the Veep, and to be humble and to be there for his brother. And it would be the most amazing circle, wouldn't it? Circle of life. It's the wheel of fortune. It's the leap of faith. It's the band of hope. When you find a place on a path unwinding, it's the circle of life. I think so. But it ain't going to happen. But I'm very excited at the fact that they will both be in this building. They're going to be at this wedding. It's going to be as awkward as hell. And the Mark Dolan show will be reporting on it in minute detail. Folks, that's it. I will have to tell you the story about the Queen and Harry and Meghan's wedding in tomorrow's show. I cannot wait. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I love you. I love your work. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.